Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Before I jump into the video today, I just wanted to say a massive thank you for the overwhelming support I got from the last one. It's been about half a year since I regularly posted on YouTube, and so I wasn't expecting much of a fanfare on my arrival, but honestly, thanks so much for the comment interaction and the encouragement there. I really appreciated it. I read everything and hopefully replied to everyone. So yeah, you really made my week. Thanks a lot, everyone. So as a result, here I am again with hopefully some scintillating content for you all, and maybe this time I'll actually drink some of my tea, but as you can tell, I speak quite quickly when I'm thinking off the top of my head, so this is here to slow me down a bit. Hopefully it works. If anyone's interested, it's gunpowder tea. Look it up, it's really cool. Maybe I'll do a video on it. But anyway, on with the video. So the Sand Lane, the Dark Fallen elves, you know, the gothic, emo vampire elves, they're not going to be an allied race. Or at least not yet, in my opinion. Because there's certain important characteristics that they don't really fulfill, or rather specific characteristics that they should have in the retail game if they're going to be an allied race that I don't think Blizzard's going to do yet. We can get the tinfoil hats on towards the end of the video, but I think they're going to be used later, and they're just teasing them at this point of the game. So, as a brief history, the Sand Lane, they were part of Lady Vash, they were part of Kael'thas's forces when him, Illidan, and Lady Vash came to attack the Frozen Throne during the events of Warcraft 3: The Frozen Throne, which, if you haven't played, which I actually haven't played either. I've played the first iteration of Warcraft 3. I've not played the expansion yet. It's probably something I should do. Maybe I should stream it. Answers on a postcard, guys. Let me know if you want that kind of thing. So the forces of Kael'thas, Lady Vash and Illidan, went to Northrend in an attempt to destroy the Frozen Throne and so defeat the Scourge, but then Arthas came back and they fought them and Arthas won, so they all fled back, but there was a contingent of Blood Elves that were left behind, stranded in Northrend, and that's what became the Sand Lane. Basically Arthas said, oh, you guys are pretty good, you're good fighters, I'm going to raise you and you'll be my top lieutenants, and yeah, the rest is history. In Wrath of the Lich King, we fought against many of them. You got Keleseth and the others, Blood Queen Lanethor, but Talamdram, I think, is one of them. I don't know. They've got quite hard to remember names. Keleseth's got a cool name. I think he might be the main one in the next expansion, like their ambassador. However, I am really trying to stay away from the spoilers. I know that as I guess a YouTuber now, we're meant to be, you know, data mining and doing all the alpha content, all the beta content, but I'm trying to, like, you know, look around it, not quite get a direct look at it, because I actually want to experience the game as a consumer as well. I want to enjoy it. So it's like opening your presents for Christmas on Easter. It's not a good idea. But anyway, that's who the Sand Lane are. They are vampire emo elves. You know, the Void Elves are like scene kids, but the Dark Fallen are properly emo. They're pretty cool, they're gritty. To be honest, they're the thinking man's Nightborn. I've recently re-rolled a Nightborn mage, but to be honest, if they do come out with Sand Lane, he's getting deleted because I'm not paying for a character transfer. I'll just make a Nightborn mage instead. I'll just make a Nightfallen mage instead. Nightborn and Dark Fallen are going to really twist my brain up. It's going to be hard to remember the difference. I'll be saying like Nightborn and Darkfallen, but that's correct. But Darkborn and Nightfallen, yeah, okay, so that's complicated. So in the events of Battle for Azeroth, from what we've seen from data mine stuff, the Sand Lane are going to in some way be involved in joining the Horde. In a similar way in Mists of Pandaria, how the Hosen and the Jinyu joined as allied races, but races that were allied to us, not the ones we were playing, it should stay that way. Jinyu are cool. You can have Jinyu in the Alliance, that's fine. Fishmen, you know, they're like enlightened Murlocs and all of that, they're cool. But if you add Hosen as a playable race, I will legit uninstall the game and genuinely just play private service forever, because I cannot take that seriously. Same with Vulpera. Please, Blizzard, do not ruin the Horde by adding those two. One, the Vulpera are just furry fan service as far as I can see, and they're just annoying. We don't need more small races. We've got the goblins, we've got the gnomes, leave it be with that. But the Hosen, I just cannot get over all of this stupid dialogue they do. It completely broke my immersion. Stuff like that is why I didn't play in Mists of Pandaria. And now I regret that, because I get that Mists balance was really cool and it was a good raiding and PvP environment, but just the aesthetic design of that whole expansion really put me off. So yeah, anyway, massive tangent. What I was saying is they're going to be part, the Sand Lane, this is, back to the original topic, they're going to be part of the Horde as an auxiliary race. So they'll come and help out Sylvanas, they'll, you know, work alongside her because, you know, they're broken free of the Lich King's control, so they're going to go and, you know, put themselves under the sway of the Lich Queen, because, spoiler alert, for Cataclysm, she's basically the Lich Queen at this point. But what they're going to do with that, I think, is just introduce them to the player base, let us get used to them, make everyone really desire to have cool vampire, blood elf stuff, and then not give it to us. So that when in the next expansion we start going to Icecrown again to beat Bolvar Arthas and basically fight against Yogg-Saron, who's taken over Icecrown Citadel. That's my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory for what's going to happen in the next expansion. I don't think it's completely far-fetched, but I think that's what's happening when that next expansion launches. So we finish off with the N'Zoth stuff at the end of Battle for Azeroth, because, spoiler alert, it's not about Horde and Alliance, it's definitely all about tentacles and old gods. When that happens, maybe we actually fight N'Zoth in this next expansion, or at least do a little bit of fighting with them. Maybe it's an initial skirmish. Once that happens, then Yogg-Saron in the north will have properly taken over Icecrown, gotten into Bolvar's mind, and launch an offensive on Azeroth from the north, from Northrend, or attack Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor. Basically, it's going to be Wrath of the Lich King 2.0, which I won't be sad to see. That's going to be fun. It was a great expansion. Why not make it again? And so when that happens, what I think is going to happen is that the Dark Fallen, the Sand Lane guys that we got buddy-buddy with in this expansion, they'll be saying, oh, you know, we can help you. Just come and join us and we'll fight alongside you and beat back the old terrible Lich King, and we'll side with you, Horde. And so you think, well, the Alliance is going to be a bit left out here, aren't they? No, because the Alliance get the Tuskar, I'm afraid. That's that. You heard it here first, that's what's going to happen. And maybe we'll get the Tornka thrown in for the Horde, and the Vrykul thrown in for the Alliance as well, probably. I don't know. I'm literally just thinking this off the top of my head right now. I've already had a whole pot of this tea already, so I had planned my sequence of thoughts to be a bit different, but I think the caffeine's got to me. Anyway, that's what I think is going to happen. But really the most important reason that I think the Sand Lane aren't going to be part of the Horde right now is because we know there's not going to be any hero classes introduced with Battle for Azeroth. So, okay, the stars are going to align in a second, honestly, because what they're going to do, they introduce them in BFA, and everyone's like, oh, these guys are cool, but you can't have a playable Sand Lane without having blood magic. That's their whole thing. They're vampires. And yes, okay, you could have a racial ability that's all, you know, suck his blood or whatever. They don't actually bite. You know, they've got these big masks with teeth on, but instead of being proper vampires, they just like suck blood with magic or something. It's kind of lame, but they have these blood mages, you know, Blood Queen Lanethel being one of them. And to me, that's a whole different class. They need to, so when this Wrath of the Lich King 2.0 gets released, part of it, they're going to have, you know, a Demon Hunter equivalent. They're going to have the Blood Mage class, which will be playable by, I don't know, Sand Lane, maybe Undeads, and Dark Iron Dwarves, and Void Elves, because they're edgy, I guess. I don't know. I can't really think of any suitable Alliance races, maybe a Worgen, but regardless, I think you can't have a Sand Lane without having a Blood Mage, right? That's what they're all about. So my hope is that when they release the next expansion, we're going to go back to Northrend, and we're going to get Tornka, we're going to get Blood Mage, Sand Lane, and we'll take the fight back to Arthas, and then actually do it in the opposite order. So we destroy what we think is the threat in the new Lich King, the Bolvar Lich King, and actually the real threat is from Ulduar. So it's like Wrath upside down. So instead of going Ulduar to Wrath, to Icecrown, we'll go Icecrown to Ulduar and finish on the better raid. I don't know. Okay, so I just rewatched that section, and believe it or not, I've got a post-it note here with a nicely thought through list of topics I was gonna go through sequentially, but I kind of got ahead of myself because of the caffeine maybe, and I missed out some points, like jumped right to the end. But also, the point that I mainly missed was that if they had another allied race in this expansion, if they had Sandlane or whatever else for the Alliance, we're going to be really oversaturated. Like, I don't know if you guys have been leveling characters to get the, you know, the special fancy armor, what do they call it, heritage armor. It takes quite a long time since they made the leveling process more time consuming. And I think we're pretty oversaturated by the time that the game comes out, because you've got the Nightborn, you've got the High Mountain, you've got the trolls that stand upright. What are they called? What are they called? What are they called? Zandalari trolls. Thanks Google, I just checked. It's quite easy to forget things when you've got a camera pointing to your face. So you got the Zandalari trolls, and also you'll be getting the Mag Horrocks. So that's 4 on the Horde, and then you obviously have 4 on the Alliance as well. So what is it? Dark Irons, Scene Kids, you've got the fancy Lightforged Draenei with the nice beards, and the Kultirans, so Fat or Asmongold. So that's 8 races. If you play both factions and you want to get heritage armor for all of them, you're leveling a lot of characters through quite a lot of content. That's going to take a long time. So if they add many more races than that, I think, well, I mean, they might make a lot of money from race transfers and all of that, but people, they want the heritage armor, so I'm never going to transfer a character just for that, because if you want a new character, if you want to get that new race, you want the shiny armor too. So anyway, if they put in another allied race in BFA, I'd be very surprised, because it's just it's too many. No one's got time for that. And also, I hope they revamp the Cataclysm world content now, because it's been around longer than the vanilla stuff was around before Cataclysm. It's been there so long that if you level 8 of those characters, you know, if you get 1 of each race to get all the heritage armor, how much are you going to hate the leveling process, right? It needs some snazzing up, because that's a lot of times you run the content. So yeah, I think I've covered all my points now, but as a brief recap, they're not going to add Sandlane because they got too many races already added this time. You don't have Blood Mages yet, or rather Necromancers, because anyone who's played the vanilla servers recently and done the Undead starting area, you remember, I think the guy's called Gunther Arcana. He's a Lich that broke free of the Lich King control all of his own. He's not one of the Forsaken. You go to recruit him to be a Forsaken, and he's a really powerful Lich. It's basically a Necromancer. And then the quest finishes with you inducting him into the Forsaken, and basically there's a bit of a subtext that in vanilla Blizz were definitely thinking about making a Necromancer class, and so this was basically meant to be laying the groundwork for that, and we still haven't seen it yet. And don't give me the nonsense of Blood DKs being the Necromancer class or anything like that. No, they've got big axes and swords and stuff and plate armor. That a Necromancer is not, I'm afraid. So my gut feeling then is that they're going to have another expansion after this one. We face Enzoth, or N'Zoth, however you meant to say it. We might kill him, we might not, might just scratch him, and then Yogg-Saron joins in. It's just a whole old god pile-on, and we take out Bolvar, but in order to do that, we need to recruit the Sandlane and maybe the Tuskar or the Vrykul, and then we get a Necromancer class, and maybe, I don't know, a Fisherman class for the Tuskar. I don't know. I can't imagine Blood Mage Tuskars. What do you think? I know this has been a little bit of a haphazard video. I blame it on the tea, but please do subscribe and like if you want to see any more from me. I've got plenty of ideas. In fact, I've got another post-it note right there on my screen with some new video ideas. I've got another music one coming up. If any of you haven't seen my previous videos on the channel, I basically started this channel looking at video game music and explaining it for a non-musicologist audience, because music's kind of what I do as a subject. So I've got some ideas for a new video on that thing, but I'll link the old series at the end of this, so please do go and check it out. If you want to see more from me, again, please subscribe. Share the video if you fancy that, that would be great. But honestly, it's just nice to hear from you all in the comments section, so looking forward to chatting to everyone, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay chim, everyone. I'll see you next time.